spotlight for Trappe, Maryland this morning. I was born in Easton, but my heart belongs in Trappe and always will. I helped my mom move into a house a couple weeks ago, and one of her contractors came in at the door and he said, "I recognize you. You're a Trappe girl, aren't you?" And he's right. I am. Always will be. I had a great childhood there. I feel very blessed. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, Pearl and Ernest Lyons, who lived on Maple Avenue. And my mom and dad, they had a house that they rented right across the street. It was next to the Seymours on one side and the Yankees on the other. That house had two little gravestones in the backyard that was in the hedge between the properties. And you know how children and gravestones are. I just loved that. I thought it was very fascinating. I don't know if the gravestones are still there or not. In fact, it's got me curious now. I want to go back and check. Trappe was originally a crossroads town. Not really a town yet. It was just an area where people stopped. I think they said there was just one building there that was a tavern called the Trappe, and it was run by a widow of French notoriety that provided accommodations to travelers that were heading up and down the peninsula north and south. And this widow made her fortune encouraging men to spend their money with time with a good woman, whatever that meant, if you know what I mean. Well, anyway, the town was eventually incorporated in 1856. Most families have been there for many, many generations, including mine. Right now, the highlights of the town really offers an awful lot. There is a vintage bookstore with maps and clocks and such. It's called Unicorn. It's out on Route 50. I'm sure people that drive by on the way to the beach have seen it. But it's just stacked. It's packed full. It's almost overwhelming when you go in. They have lots of festivals. They have the Trappe Fair every year that everybody looks forward to. And then they have other types of festivals. They have Trappetoberfest. Usually have good food, music, craft vendors, pony rides, hay rides, and of course, the famous fire truck ride throughout town. And just a little tip from me, that's a good place for your first kiss when you're looking for that. They do have restaurants. There's a very nice restaurant to have a good meal, and then there's a coffee shop called the Coffee Trappe, which is wonderful coffee, great breakfast. I think they serve lunch as well. And they make the best little chocolates. In fact, I have a condo in Ocean City, and I would buy those box of chocolates to give as a gift to my guests, just to set me apart from other people that might be, renting their vacation in Ocean City. They know that when they come to me, they're going to get a box of chocolates from the Coffee Trappe. So check that out. There are lots of housing options there too, because from the gamut from A to Z. So there's townhomes, there's historical colonials, there's sprawling farmland, and there's Main Street living, and there are subdivisions and neighborhoods. So depending on whatever your taste is, there's usually something for everybody. There were quite some characters that lived in Trappe at some time, and that includes the actor Robert Mitchum. In fact, for a time, his family did own the restaurant that was there. And I know my grandparents knew him. Frank Home Run Baker, who was a Hall of Fame third baseman. He's famous for being in Trappe. And then there was John Dickinson, who was a founding father of our country, which is something to be proud of. And last but not least is Brigadier General John S.D. Eisenhower, who was also the ambassador to Belgium. And I got to meet him through my grandmother, Pearl Lyons, and it was quite a memory for me of importance. I remember his presence being very powerful when I met him. And I was so young that I didn't know that much about politics other than, I was at that age when the Kennedy assassination occurred. So that's about the extent of my political knowledge. But I was impressed to meet Mr. Eisenhower. You can find out some more fascinating facts about Trappe through the Rural Life Museum of Trappe. It is certainly worth the trip. My father did help a little bit with some of, when they started that. But it's really run by a family in Trappe, and Linda Elvin Adams is a wonderful historian, and she mans the Facebook page, and I do encourage you to also join the Facebook page because I personally can't wait every day to look and see what she's posted next. There's wonderful photos that really take you back in time and explain a lot about Trappe and the history there. The museum really serves an important purpose to keep the town's vibrant history alive and in the minds of people. So don't count Trappe out as an option if you want to live in Talbot County. It has a wonderful elementary school, and it also has water amenities. There's a place called Trappe Landing, and that's where the watermen go out today for fishing and crabbing and that sort of thing. But it also, back in long times past, it served the mini, find the actual name. It was a steamboat that came in there. The Mini Wheeler came into Trappe Landing, which I think is fascinating. There were steamboats that went to Kingston as well, and I always like to read about the history of that because I can just see myself in a nice dress and my pretty hat on a steamboat, and they usually had some sort of meal, some sort of fare for their passengers, and entertainment. I guess maybe I'm a throwback to the Titanic days. So there's that, and it is a beautiful area down there. There's wonderful homes down near Trappe Landing, but the landing itself is an interesting and fun place to go. I like to sometimes go there at night when the sun's setting over the water, because it just is the most peaceful thing for me. So that's the end of our small town highlight for you this week. It's been a great visit. Thanks for stopping by. Signing out for today. See y'all later. Bye.